did. Let's see. How far back should I go? Let's see. This is a rift. Here are some visuals from our previous encounter. There are things and stuff. Whee. Indeed. If such was your ambition, you are welcome to do so. The two Makotai are very keen to begin their hunt, so they'll be kind of doing like a rest and kind of a pre-hunt, a little like their own kind of ritual. It's their own, it's not racial or cultural. They just kind of have their own like pre-game that they were going to go through, but the one that got away, they aren't having it. As you may recall, they've confirmed the last of their clan. And apparently these mercenaries or bounty hunters or General ne'er-do-wells had been expecting their arrival here and ready to pounce. But now they will become the hunter. Their only words of advice are to stick together on the station so that you don't get caught alone and ambushed, but beyond that, they're going to be doing their own thing, so they will wish you the best. They do exactly that. They also, they have a personal sense of pride and responsibility to deal with those people, even though they also ambushed you guys. Like, they were the prime target, so they're like, no, we're going to deal with this, we're going to get revenge for the loss of our blood, etc. Politics in space with aliens. Robot guy. Yes, you did. Intact. for those who have played Knights of the Old Republic, at least in the first one, this is the room where HK hangs out, and the second one is where Bowdur hangs out. He's like an engineer. Anyway, those are a few of my favorite things in the world. Yeah, that's HK. Resuscitation. No, master, you are wonderful. He would be incredibly frightened to be among so many different alien races, people, population, and etc. For his like lifetime memory, he grew up in like a little orphanage on a desert planet. You can certainly nudge him in the right direction with like some persuasion and be like, hey, take this wrench, do this thing for me, and then, hey, good job, you did the thing. Like positive reinforcement. You gotta train him like a dog, so if you want him to shit outside, you gotta take him outside and be like, shit here, so I kind of pictured him actually kind of average, like closer 6'7" It was all a ruse, see? You fell for a hook, line, and sinker. I had thought like, yeah, pretty young, impressionable enough to where you could hone his destiny, but not so young as that they don't understand like language and or consequences. That's a terrible thing to say. Oh, Lord. The Makotai did recommend that you guys stick together. Not that they're in charge or anything. They were kind of in like hunter and defensive mode because of what just happened. So they're not trying to overstep on Towen's authority on his ship, of course. Well, I'm sorry. I can clarify. What were you asking about eating humans? I missed the. What do you think happened to the owners of this obviously human-designed ship? Don't see them around, do you? And a completely unrelated story: the leftover lasagna in the fridge is still good if you're keen for classic cuisine. Oh yeah, both of them Makotai are in high spirits. They are going on their own hunt. That's why they recommended you guys stick together. Throughout the night, they were kind of going through their own little pregame ritual, and they're going to be tracking down that one that got away. But yeah, they're in a very festive mood. They're, but also too, there's a little bit of somberness to it because they've confirmed again that they are the last of their clan. So there's some revenge involved. It's not just like a fun, like, oh, check out that tusked beast on that planet. So yeah. They are quite eager, and they do express familiarity with the station a little bit. It is, I believe, Makotai and Eldori in its construction and primary running governance origin. Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure. Primarily built by the Eldori and Matokai, yes. Oh, it wasn't their whole planet, just their clan. Yeah. Yeah, they hadn't elaborated on if there's like a strife, if there is some kind of like Antagonist. Who's what? Yeah, the robot. I just didn't want the big X on it, so I gave it 1 hit point. Yes. Yes. As much as you and Varuk are not even close to being related, you're separated enough that you have different features. Your tentacles are a little bit different. I'm just judging based on the art, but you're both fully Dendu and share that. So yeah, different family lines and stuff. They didn't elaborate on the politics. They haven't opened up about what even brought them to this point. I completely agree, and that was completely by accident, but yeah, that's pretty incredible. Now I am the master. So yes, if there are any kind of preparations that you would like to make, things that you have in mind that you wanted to accomplish, you can review that. If you wanted to do some bartering, selling, and everything, essentially, the 2 prime areas of interest at the station are likely to be the mercantile and entertainment. You could be drawn into the residential areas, or if you're looking for real estate, that's tricky. It's pretty heavily populated, not a lot available, but if you know the right person. Administration and security, you probably don't want to go there, but if you guys act out of sorts and get arrested, then I'll plan a prison break episode for next time. Anyway, in the center of the station on each... What's that, sorry? Just do a whole new campaign. There's actually, there's a... In Heroes Unlimited, they have like a whole book dedicated to a prison, and I really wanted to run a game there. And I'm pretty sure Koro was involved, at least in preliminary discussions for it. I don't know if we ever, like, we had the maps laid out and stuff. I don't know if we did just one session. Ooh. You are aboard the EOS core. It is being taken over. Somebody has mutinied. Well, the cool thing about the station is the central... it would translate as elevator, but it is technically a teleportation pad, and it can handle multiple groups of people and destinations kind of simultaneously. So it's kind of always buzzing people up and down, off and on. But, yeah. So with that, then that's kind of centrally located. When you buzz into a specific ring, you'll get more details. Cue balls. Now, I am curious, and you don't have to elaborate or even make a decision yet, but Toan, do you consider Max to be part of your crew or have a responsibility toward him? What are your feelings toward your caveman? Okay. Cheers. Stop playing with my buttons. 500. Oh, 563. And if you have inventory you want to sell, you're welcome to pack that up and drag it with you. See if you can locate a way to offload that and increase that cubal amount. You tosser. Sorry. I'm pretty sure that means something completely different. Transfer complete. Start pulling chairs out. Is this thing bolted? You are welcome to make such your destination. On this station, so this station is further away from the Sol system. Let's hop back over to the map here, just for the sake of it, is on as far as the side of the rift and the way that kind of arc traffic works. You're at the Ariadi rift. Pelseros is the name of the station that is outside of the rift. So yeah, that's where you're at both, technically, to be accurate to your question. But yeah, you'll see Sol over there on the Tesseran path that then comes down to Tessera, which is the galactic capital, Silverine Prime. So you're on the side that would be, quote unquote, like the human side. So they'd be more predominant here than the other side where you guys are heading to. But still, not as populated here in general. Peekaboo. Oh, word, cheers. All right. So, when you use what is referred to station residence as the tube, that's the centrally located elevator teleporty pad thing, you were set up by the dockmaster with maps. He said that they will kind of update by proximity, be a little bit more helpful depending on where you're at. And as you come in here, you are given pips on your map. It is worked with the translator. So to different races, the translation would come up differently. There are a lot of names, and even like some proprietors might use like kind of a stage name, if you will, just to be more easily digestible to a variety of patrons. So there would be slang that Max wouldn't get, and he himself would talk in kind of an old-timey fashion. His dress and equipment would also be antiques. But besides that, he could still get around. It hasn't evolved too far beyond. He luckily does come from the beginnings of spacefaring, so humanity is a little more united, if you will. Where's the handle for the engine crank on this thing? Which does inform you as to function of things, but will be increasingly overwhelming the more that you use it, just as your brain is trying to not be overwhelmed. After all, you are walking on a space station with aliens right now. You won't believe what I found on my ship. You're gonna need a tube about 6-7 feet tall. Go ahead, Dooney. Yes. Now, are you guys going to be splitting up when you come into the mercantile ring? Towan was headed over to the Quantum Relics Repository. At least that's where he wanted to highlight as a destination. So are Zara and Varut going to be just taken off on their own? Or do they want to add that to like the itinerary? Oh, yeah. So the way it's kind of set up there is there's the relics repository, and then you've got the tech emporium, and then the repair place kind of behind is kind of connected to both. Yeah. Okay. Wander about, check out the techie things. All right. So the damn it. So there will be the Tech Emporium that you go through has quite a variety and pretty innovative when it comes to tech devices. There are specialty devices here that are highlighted that aren't part of the normal store shopping inventory, which you guys can presume. You can presume the things in the core manual that are available in the equipment list, all of that to be legit. You're welcome to try to increase relationships with shopkeepers to get a discount or something, but assume prices to be fair at the base. Mm-hmm. It's a cell phone in space. Yes. A SIM unit would connect up to the network. Those are a base low cost of 500 cubles. You can also get a personal computer for 300. And it's a little bit bigger, but touchscreen, tablet style. That would be the SIM. You can look at the general compendium items list. In the Esper Genesis core manual, miscellaneous gear is 145. You can scroll. Yeah, you can scroll up from there for weapons and armor. You can scroll down from there for tools and vehicles and food. And then there are some specialty things at the different shops, of course, on sale if you want to investigate closer. You don't necessarily need both. I'm just letting you know that those are things that exist. There's a portable media device that's 200, which is a little bit more basic, of course. Yes. Can confirm. Normally, it would also tie into your personal ident on the Galactic Network, which can be read at stations, helps you register, lets them know if you're wanted or anything. Can keep track of. Exactly. You had that conversation back at the docks. Yes, the ship will work with stuff. There is, so sim goggles are a separate thing you can purchase for 1,000. Are they not in the, let me see here. Yeah, so the virtual reality thing, the sim unit is the primary thing we're looking at. Yep. You would still have the you would still have a screen and interface and stuff. You wouldn't be obviously experiencing it in virtual reality. Correct. That does not come up with anything in the database, but they will take your cubles in fair trade without requiring identification. They're kind of pricey, yeah. The shopkeeper, who has a very large kind of cranium, like this big headed cybernetic exoskeleton, still very thin, kind of slow moving, will lean in after you complete the transaction. You seem a little bit wide-eyed in this place. Perhaps you could use a personal assistant beacon. And gestures on the counter where there's a display for new technology. Only 2,500 cubles. It's a palm-sized beacon that projects a personal assistant, like a little holographic, that can perform tasks, answer questions, and stuff. Well, when you've more cubles available, we'll be here. The shopkeeper will look over at Toe and this one could maybe use a new implant, telepathic translator. I have some of the older models available for only 1,000 cubles. Yep. Small neural implant will enhance communication. It will translate thoughts into a universal language so you can, yeah. We don't do any of the installations here. We provide the kit. The rest is your purview and your own. Cybernetic augments. Indeed. There's also a handout. It gets into like the wordy stuff. When you scroll down, base cost for just a common augment would be 1,500, and then it goes up from there to hella. But yeah, there's a whole handout that will go into all of that, and then there's eventually, when you scroll down near to the bottom, is a description list. You can click on the different names of stuff and get, yeah. And then at the very, very bottom, you'll have different things with the body locations. Fusion blade, limb, arm, jetpack unit. Of course, by all means. And yes, for anybody present, Zara and Varuk, if you guys are wanting to do any kind of general perusing and shopping, again, they do have available no weapons and armor here. That would be the purview of Starforge Armaments. But they do have anything in the miscellaneous gear, tool kits. Probably the best place you would conceive would probably maybe be the tech repair place. They might have salvage or even just their own scrap. Okay. Welcome to pass through there on the way to the Relics Repository and have a stop and chat. Ooh, piece of candy. Like Varuk is just like, what? He will gesture toward you. Be careful with the adhesive in those kits in the very high heat. They are known to dry a little and peel. So at the Interstellar Tech Repair Hub will be completely empty, save for one human female. She is bald. She has darker shade of skin, kind of wearing a veil, what looks like a veil that almost looks like it turns into tendrils. And those things seem like they might be connected to her psyche. You've never seen anything like it. But they can also, looks like she's using them to sometimes touch different devices here and there. Kind of looks like a synthetic version of your own tentacles in a strange way. Holographic screen will pop up in front of you. It will translate into, holographic screen will pop up. And letters and runes and symbols, you can see the screen is cycling through different languages until it gets to yours. It says, "Good day." Oh, I'm sorry, this is the repair hub. This is where Dooney was at. You are welcome to be there and engage with the woman as well. You will have likely passed through together-ish. You'll have gone through the hub on your way to the repository. And as such, everyone will have seen this woman. And again, the room itself is devoid of any customer base besides her. And you do see a lot of different salvage, different sizes, different alien sources, technology. It is really kind of like a smashed together of different alien junkyards of technology. Max, it looks like a pile of candy. and even the stuff that looks like it's just been discarded and is gathering dust, or like some of the wires that are poking out of bins that are like super space what's that underground internet cable? Uh-huh. You realize as you're putting the wire back in that the places where your hands touched kind of turned a different color, kind of like a mood ring. Max is fascinated by the alien technology junkyard. There's just a holographic display that pops up that says "Good day." And any responses come up in the asker's own language, regardless of how they are speaking to her. Yep. Nope. She has a screen that is holographic, like hanging in the air, that shimmers up and displays text. biosuit, available at Exotech Emporium, 2,000 cubicles. Restraints, available at Exotech Emporium, metallic, 10 cubicles, reinforced, 20 cubicles. There's a little bit of a pause, and even though it doesn't look like there's a response from the woman, she doesn't seem to be, like, she's not looking at you. She's looking at the device in her hand and messing with it, and seems to be responding to you simultaneously, but not engaging with eye contact. There is a pause. You may salvage. Depending on weight, will sell for 20 cubicles per pound. For base components, 5 cubicles per pound. Base components would be, so like for the more expensive would be full circuit boards or a full robot hand that's just not attached to anything, things like that. So more complicated stuff. If you're just getting actual wires and tubes and single LED bulbs and stuff like that, that kind of scrap would be a lot cheaper. But you can, like, you know, fill a bucket and weigh it, and then you'll have bucket o scrap in your inventory. General electronic salvage. Is there something specific you are looking for? Yeah. So if it's just like, yeah, the base components, you'd be looking at 5 cubicles a pound. No, what you would want to specify if you go for the 20 cubicles a pound, it would be more complicated things like, oh, my robot needs a new hand. Well, you can take it out of the salvage you bought, or if it's base components, it would be, like you're saying, very specific things. Oh, I happen to need this wire, this nut and bolt. That could be part of your general bucket that you can pull into for your projects. Max can share in that as well, or not, that's up to you, but was it like, I thought it was like 560, I thought it was like 563 that it was split. Towing? That'd be 12 pounds. Towing. Eventually. Yep. And your new friend Max just got 12 pounds. Pounds? That'll be 100 cubiles. Eventually, when you are needing to use it, we will explore what you're actually looking for, and we will cut down that waste or that weight as we go. If you're like, oh, I want to reattach this head, I'll be like, well, that's going to take half a pound of wiring. Then you can mark off half a pound of your salvage, and yeah, we'll take it situationally as we go. Yeah. So that way you could pull into that poundage to get like circuit boards or an entire working like unit or subsystem kind of. Again, depending on your application. That'll be 20 per pound. So if you spend 100 cubiles, it would be 5 pounds. Can confirm. Indeed. So, in arriving at the Quantum Relics Repository, you find a place that specializes, of course, as the name implies, rare and ancient artifacts from distant galaxies. Bit of a treasure trove for collectors and historians. They will source and sell items. Some of them have mysterious origins, deep stories, some of them unknown. You will see a tall and thin alien. You are not familiar with this race. There are a few intersped across the station that won't be, of course, of the core races, but there are other sentient races that are just minor in their contribution thus far, if you will. They have scales, but not the rough scales that you see like on the Makotai and the like, not so reptilian, much more smooth, and a little bit of a translucent quality, kind of that shimmer that goes across. You receive a slow nod in greeting. We don't deal in bartering, if you will. Cubles will do just fine. Are you looking for historical information? Or some of our fine offerings? They will gesture about the room. There are different display cases. Everything is very clean. The few customers that are in here looking around are the finest dressed that you've seen thus far in the station. This appears to be a more upscale shop, a little bit hoity-toity. The Soul System. Palmer Engineering. Yes. Specialized in travel and engines. Branched out. Other technological pursuits. Most corporations of their scale will not simply be content to sit on one product or venture. I would have to consult the records as to the company origins. Yes, it appears that there's a memoriam plaza in his honor in front of their headquarters back in the Sol System. It appears he was a member of an early spacefaring defensive force, militaristic. Much like the Silrain Defenders, by all estimations. Yes, this individual is quite honored, quite respected in their history, it seems. The company plays a major role, for the humans at least, as much as they've become part of the community. As per the existence of a headquarters in which to host a plaza, indeed. You can tell he's being a little bit condescending to you. Slowly raises an arm and flicks a finger, and before you, you see a colorless holographic display of, well, it kind of looks like Max's picture token, except for grayscale, and with a fountain bubbling around it, 3 different little fountain spouts. They go into a circular pool around this podium. And it's 100% a statue of Max. It's the guy who stands before you. I mean, all humans look alike, to be fair, but it's got, like, the details even of, like, the goatee structure that he crafts on his facial hair. Yeah. It does not, at least. He was being condescending to Towan because Towan asked if the company existed, and he was like, well, yeah, they have a fountain to the guy. They have a headquarters, as I said. If you were listening, you'd realize that they do, in fact, exist because they have a headquarters. Yeah, he's kind of just being a dick. You guys are a little bit, like, to the rest of the customers, you're not dressed in your Sunday best. So he's being a little bit, yeah, he's being a little bit snooty toward you guys and will take an opportunity to jab. I think it depends on the buyer. Most humans with an interest in history or some of our curated artifacts find themselves a little bit self-oriented, you probably have the best of luck looking in the solar system itself. Well, we do have humans aboard here. I've not seen one with an acumen for the records, in quite some time. I imagine that they would pay quite handsomely for such a ransom if you could confirm, through their genetic structure, their true identity. It is unlikely that you have found, by all accounts, this was eons ago. The humans are not don't have the fortitude to really survive that long. Their technology back then also, and you get a very, very slight head shake, which is as much body language as you've gotten. No, it's quite unlikely that their founder will ever be located again. We do hear, many times we do hear tales here. There are many, as the humans would say, wild geese to chase. I do believe the astrolabe is of human origin. Yes, that did come from the Sol system. I do believe it is close. It is of the space pioneering phase, at any rate. Labe, L-A-B-E, Astro, L-A-B-E, which is, it's a navigational device, has celestial symbols on it, and unknown star charts. Because of perspective you're used to looking, Max, in looking at what is available there from a human and Earth-centric perspective, it does make sense. You know those constellations. But no one else in the room does. Yeah, because it's from where you are. Yeah, used by ancient spacefarers for interstellar navigation. Kind of a hands-on backup thing. Alas, there is, with the time worn and everything, you cannot tell any details of origin. Anything that would have had like a maker's mark or something will have been rubbed off. Symbols themselves do still stand out, but it is incredibly worn. If you are interested in later human history, I do believe I have a sculpture matrix that was developed by the Prometheans. This one seems out of touch. A likely story, of course. Well, those humans who eventually got further into space and wanted to settle upon themselves have taken another fork in the road, if you will. They would claim such. They are not typically known as much for their artistic ventures, but this sculpture here is some of their earlier efforts. And this is a sculpture that is kind of always shifting, made of nanomaterials, and it responds to the thoughts and emotions of those nearby. So whoever is closest to it and has something in mind, if you have a memory trigger, the sculpture is going to respond to that and kind of shape in response. If you are the one standing closest to it, yes, immediately it will shift and slowly take her form. There is essentially a little hands-on exhibit where you can manipulate a smaller version of it, kind of the matrix itself, so you can kind of like manually type in stuff to see what the sculpture is capable of. But the main display itself responds automatically. Most of the items in this place are under display cases, but you are welcome to walk around and look at other stuff. Can confirm. So that'll be 120 cubles. Yes, indeed. It is on the SIM network. Well, it appears we have a light in the darkness. You stand out amongst your friends. You have an eye for the finer things, do you? Your dress and your company belie your... He will let you continue. is of course, Esper touched. You are unfamiliar with what you have? Well, first of all, for the sake of, well, if I may be frank, protecting my future investment, I must advise you, should you be continuing to carry it about, you would do well not to let others see it. The right eyes on that could result in your demise. So, where did you happen to stumble across this? Am I mistaken in that you did not seek it out purposefully? Ah, the luck of these galactic ruffians that drift into our station. You know, there are those who have spent their lives trying to verify that those even exist. He also said those. He has pluralized your egg. How long have you had that in your possession? I wouldn't wager a guess that we'd be lucky enough that you found it so recently, within days. From where did you travel after acquiring it? And its point of origin? You're the Desert Lord there. No, that's fair. Well, if it wasn't within the last 48 hours, then it will have already bonded. I suppose the best thing I can do. He looks around the shop to make sure nobody's listening. Have you an agent? Those are the little portable cell phone things that Brian just bought a new one of. Yeah. Yep. Sorry, we're talking agents. That's what they call them in Cyberpunk, and Towan got me stuck on that. No, it's okay. You are given coordinates to a planet on the Silrain arc called Viastal. It is along the arc close to actually to your home planet. Actually, here, if I switch to the other map, I can, or on the screen. You know it only as a dead machine planet. And I do mean, like, the Transformers' home planet was all a machine. That, but dead and kind of floating in space. It is unknown as to who constructed it, when, how. Of course, people believe that some of the more sentient robotic things, some of them you guys fought on that asteroid that was getting salvaged and bringing it in and making more. Creatures like that, they believe, are the remnants of that place. Some of them think the Belair came from there. The Belair themselves don't think that, but others speculate that. Well, they're kind of question marks, but that is where you are directed. The longer you wait, the more it's going to hurt. It is not my place to inform you further as to the fate that you have chained yourself to. Like this? No, not quite so much. Under the most security, we do have some fascinating devices that have been known to manipulate the temporal fold. If you or any of your companions have any gift for telepathy or any kind of those exploits, those who might be Esper touched in such a way, I have a few things that might aid in enhancing that. Why, I do in fact have something quite fascinating. It's not so much walking as it is floating slowly away from you. Kind of like Dracula. Electric violin. So it's kind of close. What is on display is an ethereal harmony harp. Beautifully crafted. Strings seem to be made of an otherworldly material. It is rumored that this device will produce tones that resonate with the energy fields of different planets. It was once used for diplomacy. Oh, but long ago. Have you experience with instruments, performance? I do mean more of a concert setting, not so much some, playing at the space docks to get bigger cup of noodles this afternoon. He is. Also, for Varuk, it's rare that somebody doesn't recognize his celebrity status. Like, even the kids at the orphanage on that backwater planet had a poster of him. You know, that desert planet where you're a lord. Anyway, this person seems to just not at all realize Varuk's celebrity status. Yeah. And as Towan pointed out, yeah, he's being a dick about it. He's like, oh, no. Not quite what I meant. This item, though it's quite rare, has a place in history. I couldn't part with it for more or less than around 15,000 cubles. 15,000. I will say, most who have been able to scrutinize the instrument believe there's more to it, but that is speculation. let's hope then that there are a lot of passenger ferries that come through the rift, and you have a lot of opportunity to beg among them. Of course you do, of course. Should we meet again, you may call me Keeksal. If you want to get his name later, I have it. Fair. Well, your friend Zara did express an interest in checking out the Astra Wellness Oasis. If you guys are feeling hungry, there is a grocery place as well as a cuisine place. Haven't stopped by Armaments yet? You can do that from your agent and or your ship at your leisure, where you are standing, where you'll be standing tomorrow, if you're still here. Yeah. When you get closer to the crucibles, it starts to open up. It's really the hubs of the space Wi-Fi. You can, you'll pass by the fashion hub on your way there, potentially. Yeah, she did say BRB. So at the Starforge Armaments, you can see this is the only location that has supply of weaponry, defensive technologies, cater to security needs both of the space station itself and travelers. You do have to go through, you will see there's an extra security tunnel, essentially metal detectors and the like, x-ray. The other shops didn't have so much security, but as you can guess, this is the dangerous shop with danger for sales. They're a little more careful. Yeah, they've got energy shields, they've got pulse cannons, they can go top notch. You might be able to get something lower quality. Quite a variety. There is a hulking and formidable reptilian alien. You recognize him, the Tokai, when you see one. This one looks a little bit different. Definitely not of the same clan. You can just tell as much as there are cat breed varieties. This is a lizard breed variety. Yeah. This is my rifle, this is my gun. There are the familiar portable shield devices. You can get an actual reinforced shield. You will see available different armors, including a fully operational working version of the fusion armor. There is only one of those in this shop. It has the highest price tag of anything in the station that's probably not in the relics repository. That, sir, is 15,000 cubles for fusion armor. With a base AC of 18. Yeah, your jacket's a 13. Yeah, if you want to bump up to 14, it'd be $500 for the trooper armor. There's a nano weave suit that jumps up way in cost after that. That would be the medium armor. The nano weave costs 7,500 for 15. It's 15. And look at your dex bonus. Medium armor gives you a max of +2. So if you have a +3 to your dex, you lose one. All of medium armors do that. Heavy armor provides no dexterity bonus. So like the fusion armor, you get a base of 18, but you don't get your dex bonus on top of it. Light armor gives you your full dex bonus. The max base you can acquire there is a 12 with an infiltration suit or a light trooper. The infiltration suit does not have disadvantage on stealth. Let me know when I'm just word vomiting. Fair. Same. Yours is just antique style, but provides the same protection and the like. Your caveman furs. $50. Your friend Varuk can provide. Yeah, counts as wearing armor versus weapons that have the high velocity property. So like impact weapons, you'll be brushed against. Gives you a bonus against burst saves if worn without armor. So it doesn't do anything to your AC, but doesn't require any proficiency, doesn't mess with anything like that. It's kind of like a circumstantial booster thing. You may look at the device. If you turn it on, we will assume that you have agreed to a transaction. There. There you go. Extra info for you as far as if you don't have a PSD or armor, high velocity weapons deal extra damage and have increased probability of critical strikes. If you have need of one of these devices, I recommend you get familiar. And he gives you a smile. It's a little bit wicked looking on a reptile, and all the teeth and everything, like a crocodile that grew into a person. But you can tell he's not being angry. Like when you have a minute to be like, oh, he's not growling, he's smiling. Okay. Rudyard Kipling, yeah. Hmm. He reaches down below his main counter thing and hits a button. What was just an image that's showing different adverts for different companies of weapon manufacturers. Note, it doesn't look like Palmer's in the weapons business. You don't see anything actually, any human corporations, at least represented here, as a side note. But you will see all available grenades lined up nicely when the veil is removed. They're all under the counter next to him, and even a few launchers. So different types. There's frag, EMP, gas, phosphorus, stun. The main ones. Frags are 100, EMPs are 120. Woohoo! Like, whoa, man, are you sure you didn't get the gas grenades? Ah. Says, are you lot gonna be at the station for a bit? Do you think you're gonna be coming back to patronize my establishment? Well, I have incoming within the next, at least within the next cycle or two, a new version of the EMP grenades. These are my last two here. I'll throw in this last one here for half price. You are buying one of the two EMP grenades he had, so he's offering you one more for 60. Buy one, get one half off. course you will. Bless you. Zara is sad. You don't like grenades? Oh, right, yeah. By the way, Max, you realize on one of your hands, you just have a stump. I'm kidding. If you look at the chat, yeah. How are you going to analyze that device without any digits? You realize you have not eaten rice today. You'll be, oh nice, I like rice cakes. You'll be roughly timing out with where Mr. Varuk will likely be finishing up his excursion into the Celestial Fashion Hub. And so, when you enter, you see... Now, I don't know if Varuk in his travels, you are a little bit well-traveled in the galaxy, so you may have encountered beings who are made of energy or the like. The proprietor of this shop is one of such. An ethereal being, glowing, not like the Bel Air, doesn't have that contained suit to survive. This is a being that is entirely made of light energy. And you hear an echoing voice in your head, speaking in the Dindu language, that welcomes you into the shop. Are you looking for anything specific, or would you like to browse? There are a couple of items you may find fascinating. So with aesthetics like coloration, with space technology, that is a very easy thing to customize. But there is very specifically, out of a couple things that you are guided to, one is a chameleon silk. It is a special fabric that changes color and texture based on your emotions, surroundings, or even personal preferences. The set includes tunics and pants and accessories, so you can get a jacket with it, providing the wearer with the ability to blend seamlessly into any environment or express their mood through their clothing. That is going to be on the scale of, let me have a look. That is going to be 1,200 cubles. little man, you mean a child? You can get their outfits. They can customize to a smaller size. Their headwear, unfortunately, the few special headwear pieces they have are adult-sized only. You will see described there's a telepathic link crown, holographic galaxy topper, and an anti-gravity levitator cap. And then for special clothing, there is a set that is special luminous bioplastic. It's self-luminous, lets you glow, helps you stand out if you want to do such a thing. Would strike you as something maybe good for a stage performance, but not for like sneaking around and fighting bad guys. The set together, considering the smaller bit for the child and buying together, could compromise at $1,500. Where can these be delivered when they are done? Time estimation, 5 hours. They are going to be custom made. You have examples here, but whatever you order, they will custom make and then send to your ship. And I will, for the sake of, copy paste that into the chat so that you can snag it as such. Buy her the floating hat. On the second full-size set, we might be able to bring that down. Let's say for the 2,500. You guys can communicate through your agents, and she can send you cubables from her account digitally. Sim unit is exactly what I meant, thank you. What is not listed there, if you are using it to blend with your surroundings, you will get advantage on stealth checks. So bear that in mind for all three of you. If you are using your special chameleon clothes, you can name them and design them in additional ways as much as you like. They all are going to look similar, so you guys will be kind of like themed, like you're all the Fantastic Four or whatever, but you can have your own subtle differences. It's just going to be the same material and general style, but you can customize it, like if you want to have it be sleeveless, etc. I'll say that because Farouk has his vest thing going on. His picture. Their usefulness will increase when they have. Also, too, with a kid being in less control of their emotions, you'll be able to tell their mood by looking at their clothes if they're wearing them. You know, if they're not actively controlling it, which they will get better at it, but that's a thing. A little more expressive. And did Toan send out a general, hey everybody, we're heading over to the cuisine corner? Okay. So Varuk, you will have received that after finishing up with your business there. Zara, meanwhile, is making her way to the Astro Wellness Oasis before meeting up with her friends for chow, if she intends to do so eventually. The proprietor here, who will introduce herself as Zinthara, the wellness guru, will smile a little bit sadly and open her hands. You realize she, like you, is a Dindu. She says, we do, of course, here provide services that cater to the mental needs. We don't necessarily sell products like a depository, but provide services. Our most popular packages, well, it's all here. And she hands over a pamphlet. You will see offered among its pages the Quantum Harmony Renewal Package, the Astro Relaxation Fusion Retreat, and the Vitality Infusion Galactic Detox. If you would like to know more, I will provide more info. Which of the packages are you interested in? And this is an interactive pamphlet, so when you tap on the words Vitality Infusion Galactic Detox, the screen itself will swirl into a new page that will display a description there. To summarize, it is a focus on detoxifying the body. It does use some alien technologies and some holistic cleansing methods. And you will also get recommendations for diet and moving forward, ways to kind of continue better health and living thereafter. So it is tailored toward your specific genetic makeup. They are the Astro Relaxation Fusion Retreat and the Quantum Harmony Renewal Package. Boop. Have to get your chi in order. You have to make sure your chakra is aligned, your chakras, plural, are aligned. Astro Relaxation Fusion Retreat. The packages will, let's see. Don't we all? So the most expensive is the Detox at 2,000. The Relaxation Retreat is the cheapest at 500. The Quantum Harmony Renewal Package is 1,000. Even in space, holistic medicine is super expensive. But in the gift shop corner, you can get a new deck of Space Tarot cards for only 25 cubles. It's going to come with a balanced and revitalized ending. So, yes. Rejuvenate both the physical and energy bodies. It is a 3-hour in which you get a harmonic resonance massage. There's also, I believe that one has, yes, the alignment, meditation. All right, so are you wanting to make an appointment or take an available now? All right. You will be led to a little corner. There are holographic walls, kind of screens that go up that then phase over so that you're given privacy there. And then on your side of said holographic walls, you will be given the option to select from natural environments, different kind of general biomes from different planets. They don't have specifically like, I want to sit on Mount Kilimanjaro, but you can get Snowy Mountain, and you will get feelings of cold, fresh air, kind of subtle environmental effects for your chosen environment. There's there was a restaurant at the mall. I don't know if it's the same place, but it had kind of like a jungle theme to it. I don't know if that's the same thing as what you guys are talking about. Yeah, it was like really immersive. Like they really dove into it. It was almost like a like safari ride for kids or something. Like it kind of felt like. Right. As far as so they have just a quick thing. The only thing I can find: exotic cities layered with high technology, grand strongholds melded into the earth with neon lit, rippled spires running both above and below ground. Representations of the Dindu's way of life, the perfect mix of tradition and evolution. General Planet. Yeah, they've been conquered a time or two. Yeah, they have a. They mentioned the fullest tower, which is kind of the same thing. It goes both above and below ground. All right. So while Zara is undergoing that, there was a common meal that was ordered for everybody. Oh, the three of you who are meeting there to eat. I believe Toan had said that. That would be the comfortable. There's. Okay. On. What's that, sorry? Well, what's great about this is the culinary connoisseur here. It's a tentacled creature, person. I don't want to call aliens that are sentient creatures, if you'll pardon me that. I'm not very space woke. Tentacled chef. She can blend flavors from different planets to result in a menu that can cross lines between you guys. The specials for today include the Astrofusion Sushi Nebula, the Quantum Quasar Salad, the Celestial Energy Stew, the Gravitational Noodle Whirlpool, and the Nebula Souffle Tower, if you're interested in dessert. Please let me know if you'd like to know more about any of those specials offered today. Always the noodles. You'll get your noodles tomorrow, sir. We're playing Fallout tomorrow, right? It's Thursday? Yeah, okay. Fallout Friday, yeah. Alright, so there are those three dishes just pasted into the chat there, so you can dive into the specific dish that you are presented with. You are welcome to engage with it as you like. Right? Ooh, can I get a survival check? Now, do you, if your prey is not sentient, if it's just, a beast or something, are you apt, oh wow, are you apt to typically eat it? is the whole space buffalo. So you immediately recognize the main ingredient. It is not, of course, highlighted or given its specific name, but then there chunks of protein from interstellar creatures, that part of it. What is your favorite beast that you have conquered? It was a tribble. You absolutely may. For 2,000 cubles. That name, I'm going to assume, is deceptive. Eldorian Squeaker Mouse. Are there any details you would like to share about that? No. Those words don't go together, sir. I can't wait to Midjourney one. Did you post it in the... Howl like wolves? I just want to see pictures here. Huh. Yeah. That there's... Looks like a mouse. I'm pretty sure I have pet those before. Is it common for them to be pets, or is it common for them to be fed to snakes? I don't remember specifically where I have engaged with one. No kidding. What about like a larger constrictor? Okay. Grasshopper mouse is a scorpion slayer. That's one of the headlines on Google's image search. Hey, so do you. Space centipedes. Alright, awesome. So Toan can tell you guys all about the secret ingredient that's in this stew. He's going to take his first bite. Kind of smell it even first before you taste it. Be like, wait a minute. Is that... It couldn't be. It sure is. For groceries, you will want to head down near the Wellness Center to Graviton Groceries. Palmer is listed BRB. they're floating in air. It's the contrary to the don't play with your food. With this dish, you can't help but do so. Sometimes does, if you're in the mood. So with like regular top ramen, I don't know if that's what you were talking about. Okay. Oh, okay. So for me, oh yeah, no, I have a thing with it too. So like when I was a kid growing up, we didn't have an oven, so and we did obviously have to go through a lot of top ramen. We had to microwave it, and I always ate it with like the broth and stuff, so it'd be more of like a soup with ramen noodles in it, and then it'd be microwaved, like you put the stuff in and then like kind of try to cook it together or whatever. Cook in air quotes. So that fucked me up. I can't do that ever because that's just gross to me. But I absolutely love instead like making top ramen the right way, which is boil the water, put the noodles in, drain all the water, then put the flavor packet in. Not all the water, enough water for the flavor packet to get around. But it's not a soup, it's just the noodles. Yeah, that's the right way, and that's awesome. The old way, like my growing up way, oh god. Gross. Anyway. Ghetto chips, yeah. 100%. Yeah. Been there. Oh yeah. It's really good. I don't know. It's simple but awesome. Oh, we used to dream of having toast. We had to eat the cardboard box of the neighbor's bread. Sorry, go ahead, sir. So, Max, on Earth, where you had come from oh so many years ago, they had moved into synthetic meats. This is not a synthetic meat. This is fresh, which you may be having for the first time. On the positive note, it's not cinnamon coffee, so you're not going to hallucinate when you're done. You're not sure if your translator is broken. You're pretty sure that he just referred to a cute little mouse as being deadly. Maybe he's joking, but he's saying it with a completely straight face. Was there ever an episode of Tom and Jerry where Jerry takes like a giant potion and hulks out or anything? uh, it is carnivorous. It is a mouse that is a predator, not the prey. In Mother Russia, you are the protein of the stew. For Toan, his best guess, just knowing about spatial technology in general, going up with it, it sounds like there's probably a crucible that was either destroyed or deteriorated or something broken with it. He probably found a piece of crucible technology that then landed on the planet. A whole crucible is like moon-sized ish. So obviously it would be just a tiny piece, which means it was fragmented, so it had to deteriorate and a piece flaked off, or it exploded and one of the tiny bits landed there. That's for Toan to share as much or as little as he likes, but a lot of species enter the galactic forum because they stumble across a crucible in whole, not just a piece of it. Well, had you a full crucible to contribute to your research, it would have been very quick. Like putting some of the pieces together, there's still parts of the technology that you lack, but after so many analyzed device and stuff like that, you definitely realize like having found just that little piece opened the door to even conceive the possibility. A whole crucible would have been like, oh, there it is. That's It is fair. There's some developments, like stages, that you would have skipped past. Also, too, you missed first contact. You missed eighth contact. For all that you did find, like, a very alien plant, that's not the same. Yeah. Well, because when you woke up, you would have thought, like, these are aliens. Is this first contact? Like, and then finding out, oh, yeah, your planet's way over there. We already know about you monkey evolved things. Not going to show up on an empty stomach, huh? There it is. So you will find this grocer is unique in being able to offer quite a diverse range of produce because of its use of gravity. So it can fresh grow things that aren't native to space stations, but mimic their environments, including that aspect, which they kind of lean on as being their specialty and their secret ingredient, if you will. Certainly. Well, yeah, if we keep it poor or modest, if we're talking for like a long trip, I would say we probably want to multiply that by 100. Alright, so roughly 500 would get you all the bare necessities. Of course, you can make more advanced meals out of it, but yeah, the basic stock there. And that would get you for a good few months. Again, just the basics, and it also depends on extras for Charlotte if the kids get into it and eat all the. But whatever. Yeah. And you know, having traveled around a bit, um, they're all, they're able to offer a little bit lower pricing here because they have such an awesome way of generating from a variety of sources and the like. So, um, I have, as well as you are going about and collecting, you are going to see some special items here and there. If you are interested in taking a closer look at any of them, there are some names in the Roll20 chat. They're sprinkles, yeah. Would you like to know more? Buying a unit of these are all going to be under the luxury category, so 10 cubles for a serving, like one use that can go for the whole party, if you will, so like a meal serving, all around the umbrella. Ooh, but they're fun. bean water seeped. Yep. It would be considered similar to a tea. Right, yeah. Yeah. Like where on Earth it's very separate. Not specifically coffee, a couple varieties of teas. There isn't any, there aren't any caffeinated beans for bean water at this establishment. Also, they will offer, depending on your tea experience, if you take it for relaxation, they do have a special offer of the temporal tea leaves. You may. And there are more than that, if you scroll up there. I don't want anybody to miss out on the opportunity for the zero gravity marshmallow clouds or anything. There you are, sir. It's all natural. Those energy drinks are specifically linked to and advertised as a specific alien ecosystem. So you will find a variety of the Dindu and the Valna and etc. The major players will all be represented by the company that produces these energy drinks. That's kind of like their theme and their gimmick, if you will. All of it, 10 cubles per serving, if you will. And one serving is good for like a meal or a dose for the whole party. $10 cubles each. It's enough, yeah, to like be shared. So if you buy a unit of temporal tea leaves, it would be everybody could enjoy a session with that tea, if you will. Yep. Everybody is there with you except for Zara, who will be finishing up her session there. She's a new mother. She could probably use some. Oh, heavens no, not in this shop. They said that The only communication they will be in need of is if you guys leave the station. Otherwise, if you don't see them, they have not completed their hunt. Correct. Ah. And what are you getting them what? If you are asking at the cuisine corner, for kids, they always recommend dessert. And some of the Stardust sprinkles we talked about. Yes. Indeed. Yeah. That will be the low, low price of 20 cubles. You are quite bold to be asking so openly. In case you didn't hear, though, that is a substance that they are trying to regulate, and any unregistered raw sorium is considered one of the very few things to be considered contraband. Because it's used as a prime source to power so many things, it is, of course, very available, but trying to move it in bulk has become something suspicious, and they're trying to crack down on that. Even those that scrap from the tech repair hub, that's one substance that they have to bag and tag and submit to the authority. So unless you can get into the administration sector where that would be held and stored in its abundance before it gets shipped out, shrug. Nanu. Oh, let me find. So I have to scroll back up in my notes here to the. All right, that again was the nectar spheres in the fruit pods. There you are. The affordable weird. There's some fun weird you left behind. Yeah. So if you guys want to heist the museum, by all means, let me know. What's that, sorry? Thinking. What is your thought? An idea? Oh, yeah. Five cubes. Yeah. Special space dessert. Oh, okay. Are you going with, out of the options, there was the sushi, the salad, the stew, the noodles, and the souffle. Ah, that is what the human had. Astrofusion Sushi Nebula. You're taking who to the communications room? Okay. Sim. Polymer Technologies. This is Sandra. How can we help you today? And have you filed a report with the department? You say that this is an ancient Polymer Technologies. Very well. We'll want to get you in contact with records. Hold, please. What, please, is Toe and Banetail's least favorite genre of human music? Because that's what's playing. Oh, no. So Pavarotti probably, well, he's got the, that's not a good example, is it? Yeah, that's, okay. Yeah, the Viking lady. essentially. For the next 3 hours, you will not be able to see the color blue. It would take less. That is off of one shot. But you have a warm, happy glow, if that makes you feel better. Ooh, excellent. Storing that in the garage. I will assume until otherwise stated that you guys are share alike with your materials there, as needed or requested. You hear the echo of a heavy sigh from the museum curator. Sir, it is a blaster. It blasts energy. That was later. Yeah. And hair. You did a swab. Yeah. Things that are hard protected, you wouldn't get like a lung or a heart sample because you didn't get into the rib cage, but the squishy bits. Oh, hey, yeah, PSD. Still on hold. This is Clarice in Records. Thank you for calling Palmer Technologies. Zara says, my nickname is Science. I'm sorry, sir. There must be a mistake. This matches up with a prototype style. This cryopod is, if you have such available, it would be appreciated. So, this pod will have been designed by Max Power and his companions. It is an actual prototype. What serial information would you have included on that? It would have been designed by you in an emergency, but you will of course have the wherewithal to be like, there's a follow-up here, but for my immediate need... All right. So yours is Model 1. All right. This is data does correlate with our records to show. However, the only example we have is the Model 2. There's nothing that in any of our records that mentions, and suddenly she's cut off, and it's back to the opera music. Please pardon the intrusion. This is the CEO of the Palmer Corporation. Please provide your coordinates. Please make haste to the Sol system. Please provide your coordinates. Pelseros. You do know the name. Your character. Yeah, yeah. Palmer Technologies will be sending transport en route. Stand by. Your communications have ceased. Mr. Palmer, can I please get an insight check? There were 3 prototypical pods being made. They have a record only of number 2. Did you issue the second pod to your niece or to your companion? Whee! So, that is the free insight you will get. Somehow, her pod at some point was located and is in their records. Yours and that of your companion, old Dickie Richardson, was not found. Oh, the communication isn't over. You're not able to ask that question. That'd just okay, yeah. Put them in the brig. I mean the fridge. Bring a jacket. Again. It has been acquired and is being stored. It is not engaged in repairs, but that option is available tentatively. Again, they don't have super advanced methods, but they can do basic things for low cost. That's awesome. So, were you jealous of Varuk having his own desert lordship? You're like, I want to be a lord of something. Oh, I'm a commodore. I have another ship. I am the lord of something. Wah. Are you wanting to take applications, or is it like a first come, first serve? Okay. Or you could, like, as a compromise, if you want to take applications for captain, you could then delegate the responsibility of filling the rest to them. Depending on how much, like, autonomy you want to give the captain of this other ship. All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure how much you wanted to micromanage. It's 100% up to you. That is awesome. So is this the first chapter technically aboard the ship here now? And those are a cool, like, it's a cool group to advertise your breakfast bars with. And Varuk can write the jingle. I'll have to try to remember, I'll probably not, but I'll have to try to remember that if I put a ship in the battlefield and you defeat it, you'll just be like, oh no, we're not blowing it up. It's now in my fleet, and I'm putting out a hiring call for another captain. Like, oh, I did just give you that, huh? Alright, enjoy your new toy. Well, you could get to the point too where you could design your own ship. They have rules in the technician's guide for building a ship ground up, so yes. Who specializes primarily in and among other things, starship propulsion and travel. Everything is all good. We even endeavor to say it's better than good because all of the departments have been extra stocked. So, were you for the fusion suit? So, I'm pretty sure you're going to want to dip into both of your material pools to endeavor toward that. Let me find some details for you. So you are going to need 5 pounds from each of your sets, and then with your check, yes, it will be mechanics. Um, can I get an insight check without advantage? Just straight up there. And I will answer your question based on that. It will be straight up. Of course. Oh, very nice. So, it is when you are getting very close to the end and kind of the reassembly phase when you think to yourself, if I had gone on the SimNet, I probably could have found blueprints for this thing, and it would have been a lot quicker and used less materials because I wouldn't have been learning what this armor is and does for the first time ever. It's a matter, too, of like, oh, I keep forgetting that there's space internet. Yeah, exactly. All right. The armor itself in full, like fully repaired, functional, weighs 30. I have a question for the people involved, and that is, what please is your strength attribute? Ah. Well, you can. So, the armor will reduce your speed by 10 feet unless you have a strength score equal to or greater than or equal to the number listed. With fusion armor, it is 16. So I just want to give you the heads up, just because it's bulky and stuff, you will move 10 feet less with it on. You can still use it all the live long day. Don't forget to, it does give disadvantage on stealth because it's heavy armor, and no dexterity bonus, but you don't need one if it starts at 18. This armor is top of the line in space armor in general. Well, not just that, but like for you, like space armor didn't exist yet for you again. So it's just another, and this will keep happening every time you're exposed to something new and getting into it. There are just constant reminders of how much you've lost in between. And I'm sorry to keep poking you with that, but please get used to it. You are a pincushion in this galaxy. Hey, baby, I bet you were something before electricity. Sorry, is Rodney Dangerfield. It's funny to hear that humans, as they evolved, never really did have proper teeth and claws for hunting. They always had to grab a stick to get the job done, literally or metaphorically. Dun, 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 dun. You do have a doctor on board who can probably do the installation. They are familiar with your innards already. Maybe. Sorry, your teeth were interfering with the cybernetic device. They had to be removed. The Dindus can sympathize because their planet has been taken over a couple times. And they've had to revolt and fight back out of it. So it wasn't like, act of God, if you will, but... Aeroplane. That would be the best way. Oh, that's a first. Because you also noticed the dockkeeper was like hesitant to give it back. Like they had a twinkle in their eye too that about that. Wasn't there too a if you want to find trouble, don't forget that there was a lingering clue about the something when Zara was looking into Charlotte. There was only one possible, maybe unlikely from Mazavir, I believe, which is north of Seoul, northeast of Val. Please correct me if you have a note that states otherwise, but I do believe that that was a nugget from previous pursuits. Yeah, it just happens to be like kind of in the loop that you guys are talking about. Boss Drusku, their homeworld. Can confirm. Well, so you were found in the cargo hold as the possession of the fugitive who was put in the brig. So where you were actually found has not yet been explored at all. This is the first time it has been brought up. is... Oh, yeah. I don't know why it's called Small Starfighter, because it's linked to the... Oh, yeah, I can. It takes 2 seconds and I'm done. Yes. Bonus points if you do the pose of the statue that you guys saw in the sim record. The dramatic, yeah, standing there with the... Oh. Now that's a pretty nifty trick. Just in general. Yes, I did want to give you guys the opportunity to advance notice the Matokai will not return by morning. You know you have some time there. You have not heard or seen anything from Palmer Technologies, but you got the impression that they were like, where are you? Mm-hmm. Not even a goodbye or confirmation, just like, mm-hmm. Of course. In the meanwhile, while you are kind of just on the planet, welcome to get a sneak peek of things to do if you've completed your shopping expeditions. Alrighty. See what day is about. We can note it on your to-do list. But yeah, as far as having some business concluded, there is plenty of leisure activity. Zara, will you note down free inspiration for keeping us in check there? Well, Might just set up a booth. And then Zara can set up a little medical kiosk right next to it. Roll 1d12 for how many eyes you get. Roll 1d8 for how many fingers. Whee! Here's looking at you, kid. Critical. Ooh, that'll be a whole hand. Intact. So yes, some things and stuff are definitely pending. I like y'all got stuff looming ominously. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I've been playing Fallout Shelter a lot lately, actually. Because it's easy to, like, quick log in and do some stuff, get updated, send some people out. Alright, I'll come back in a couple hours and see what's there. The show? Yeah. I'm so ready for it. All year.